What good have our new saviours done for us? What grievances have they procured to be redressed? Wherein is our condition bettered? Or how are we more free than before? It could have been uttered yesterday. It sums up 2020, disillusioned. Our world reduced to four walls, hopes dashed, poorer, fearful, unfree. But it wasn't spoken yesterday. We need to reach down through more than 350 years to Oliver Cromwell's New Model Army fighting the King, Charles I, to hear those words first spoken. Of course, the balls will drone. It didn't turn out too well for Cromwell either, did it? But go back before King Charles I's head was separated from his body, before Oliver Cromwell anointed himself Lord Protector, before he cancelled Christmas, doesn't that sound familiar? And before Oliver's army invaded Ireland. Go back to the 1640s when the English Civil War produced pamphleteers and petitioners, polemicists and agitators arguing for an expansion of freedom, unheard of at the time. No, not all their arguments triumphed then and there, but they were made. They were made and not forgotten. Heroes lived and died to make them. And they have echoed down the centuries. So, let's seize those arguments for today. Remind ourselves of what was fought for when life was unfree, before unfreedom makes its unwelcome return into our existence. This was a time when simply voicing your desire for a republic could mean your ears being hacked off or worse. When most people couldn't look forward to living far beyond 50, if you were lucky enough to even get past childhood, that is. Diseases far more deadly than COVID circulated with dreadful regularity. And yet people desired more freedom, not less. Today, what we need is a new agreement of the people to petition Parliament with, a new series of Putney debates for the post-lockdown world. We need a new Areopagitica, arguing for freedom to flourish. Let us find inspiration from the 1640s when radicals argued for the liberty of conscience in matters of religion. Today it's not necessarily the freedom of worship for nonconformist Christian sects that's needed as it was argued back then, but it's the freedom to gather and speak up against today's monolithic religions of ever more lockdown, of eco-miserabilism, of wokedom, that are so badly needed. Back then in the 1640s, the army demanded an amnesty for those who fought on both sides of the Civil War. Today we need an amnesty against the cancellation of people for the smallest misstep in their lives. An amnesty against the demands for the grovelling apology that is never enough to atone. Above all, we need the freedom to speak our minds. With more and more restrictions added to the statute books, with more pressure in all areas of life to always say the right on thing, where will this end without our intervention, without our argument? As John Milton so deftly argued in 1644, give me the liberty to know, to utter, and to argue freely, according to conscience, above all liberties. Let us banish our rulers' desires for more compulsion over our lives. No more rules, no more fines, no more policing of our rationally made decisions about our lives. Let us instead remember the radical cry of the levellers. You may propose what form you conceive best and most available for information and well-being of the nation, and may persuade and invite thereunto, but compel you cannot justly.